Today on Community Watch, we are talking with two representatives from a wonderful program of the Department of Labor called Career One Stop. If you're having some employment issues, this is the place to go, and you're going to learn about it today. Community Watch starts now.
Welcome to Community Watch, and I'm Greg Shropshire, and I'm also joined by my fabulous co-host, Dr. John Hershey. Doc, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Greg, but I don't think I've ever been fabulous.
Well, we'll make it today.
I've been many things, but fabulous I don't think is one of those things.
I'm gonna keep that in mind, make it Fabulous Monday. But today we have an interesting show, with the pandemic and employment situations, work situations. I guess there's a perception that there are not a lot of jobs out there. And I just know in the course of the day and some of the things that I do, it turns out there are quite a few bit of jobs out here in Northwest Georgia area. So today we'll be talking to some experts in that area, and we'll be talking about exactly some of the jobs that are available, some of the resources that are available for our residents in this area.
Well, that's great. I need to be prepared at any moment for a shift in careers.
So we're actually joined today from two ladies from WorkSource Georgia. It's the One Stop. You'll come to learn more about it. And we're joined with Lindy and Michelle. And Lindy, I deal with y'all, so I don't even think about y'all titles. But what is your official title at the One Stop?
It's the One Stop Coordinator.
And yours, Michelle?
I am the One Stop Specialist.
Okay. So Lindy, if you would, what is the One Stop?
The One Stop is a partnership created through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act that was signed by President Obama in 2014. And it provides funds so that all the agencies in the area that work to provide services for people who are looking for jobs and need training can work together to make sure that everyone gets what they need, because there are some services that work alone and there are others that work together. For instance, if someone wants to go to training and become a truck driver, and they can get assistance through the Technical College at Georgia Northwestern Technical College to pay for their tuition and books. And they can also get some assistance through Talatona to help them pay for transportation to get back and forth to their classes.
So I guess what you're saying, so it's like a collaboration.
Yes.
Between different entities and organizations, I'm assuming, so that to meet the needs of each entity, but at the same time, they're all working together to provide jobs and training for those y'all serve.
Exactly. It helps reduce duplication of services, and it helps make sure that the job seekers get all the services for which they are eligible and are available.
Now, Michelle, as a one-stop specialist, what does that entail? So what's your role there?
My duties are to assist, prior to us shutting down, to navigate the traffic inside of the One Stop Career Center, the Comprehensive Career Center. So I would assist people with finding a job. I refer some of the clients to the different universities, to GED, to different programs within the community. So I am hands-on with dealing with the clients to come in and out of the One Stop. or the Department of Labor.
Now, I know you may have some questions, Doc, but let me ask this last one. So you said something very important, or you said something that caught my eye, Lindy. You said that participants or clients may be eligible for it. Can you speak more about that? Because when I think of One Stop, Department of Labor, things of that nature, I don't necessarily think about eligibility. That's not my frame of reference. So when you talk about eligibility, what are some of the things people may qualify or may be eligible for?
Okay, that's a fair question. There are some services called basic services that everybody qualifies for. They can walk in regardless of their financial and economic situation and qualify for assistance with resume building and interview skills, job search, anything like that. Now, somebody who may need a GED, for instance, they will have to meet eligibility requirements to be able to get those services for free. And basically, that's usually somebody who is low income, or they've been out of work for a long time, or they don't have adult basic education skills. For instance, if their reading level and math level are way below average, they can get those assistance for free and no cost. Then there are some training courses. For instance, if someone wants to become a nurse and they want to start out at Georgia Highlands College, then they have to meet the eligibility requirements for the WIOA in order to access those programs. And they're based on 16 different requirements of the federal government. And they only have to meet one or two of those requirements to be eligible. For instance, a single parent, someone who has been in trouble with the law and they're still a minor, someone who has been out of work for a long time. Like here now with the COVID-19, they have received extra funds for what we call the dislocated workers. Those are people who have been laid off and they're not likely to go back to the job they were at because either the job was phased out or the company's not opening again. And there's some other things like the Trade Adjustment Act where companies pick up and go overseas. There's special funding for that. So for those people, there are special requirements for eligibility. But most people are going to be eligible for something, regardless of their situation. And when Michelle talks to them, she does kind of an assessment to find out what their goals are and what is available and match them with what's available and make sure that they contact immediately or within a short period of time, either face-to-face or electronically with that service provider. And we do an electronic referral process so that if I were interviewing Dr. Hershey, I would say, now, what are your interests and what would you like to see happen? And then we'll take from there and see what's available. And I'll say, is it okay with you if I share your information with Greg Shropshire because his program provides what you need? And you say, yeah, sure. And you would sign a little permission slip and we would send him your information. And after he gets your information, he'll tell us, I got his information and I contacted him and he's enrolled in my program. And in that way, we can track what we're doing and provide reports throughout the region about the success that we're having.
Well, that sounds great, but Greg is never going to pay a living wage. He's not going to pay a living wage. It's my experience, but
yeah. So for some of these people, they are not making a living wage. They are underemployed. And in Rome, Georgia, for instance, you need to be making about $12 an hour as a single person to be able to meet all your expenses And if you're making less than that because you don't have a GED or you don't have marketable skills, then we can help you find a way to get those skills. Now, it won't happen overnight, and it won't happen tomorrow. It will take time, and it will take dedication on the part of the job seeker. They'll have to put in some effort, and then a year, 2 years down the road, they'll be better off than they are today. And once they get that foundation started, then they'll be able to move on up and get more skills so that eventually they're off public assistance, they're working at a job they love, they're earning money that helps them take care of their family.
Now, Linda, you said a single person, $12 an hour. So is that just a single person? Or is that like a single parent?
Now, that's a single person. A person with a child would need about $20 an hour.
Wow. And so, and I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but $20 an hour for a single parent. And I'm assuming a lot of the fast food type jobs and industries pay well below that. And we clearly have parents that work in these jobs. So yes, they have value. All jobs have value. But basically, if you're making a little bit over minimum wage and you have just a child, that's basically what you're saying is they're not making enough money
Right,
to truly
they're
be self-sufficient.
They would be considered underemployed. And services are available for people who are underemployed. We have that concept that when you come to the Department of Labor, you're coming to the unemployment office, and that's just not true. This is the Department of Labor, and we are the comprehensive one-stop. And we are here to show that this is a career center. That's a place you can come to get what you need to have a career and not just a job that you go to because you got to pay the bills.
You know what, Doc? Lindia said something, and I guess we'll talk. I know we're going to talk about this even after the show. Underemployed. So this concept is you have people that are working every day, because sometimes in our society we have this vision of poor people being lazy. And yet, so what you're telling us is that you have people that are out here working 40 hours, whatever a week, but they just don't make enough money.
Right.
Despite the fact they're doing the best they can, maybe. That's something to wrap your head around as a community, that we have people that no matter how much they work, if they don't necessarily get the additional skills they need, there's no real opportunity for upward mobility.
That's correct. They have what we call barriers to employment. And those barriers can be anything from a low English proficiency to a conviction on their record where they had to be incarcerated for a while. It can be a lack of education. Studies show that in areas where people have a higher education, the standard of living is higher. And in this area, I think about 25% of the people have a bachelor's degree. Yeah, so don't quote me on that one. But where they have a higher percentage of people with higher degrees, the standard of living is higher.
Well, Doc, I know.
It sounds like folks who get just a regular minimum wage job are just not going to be able to support themselves.
No, they will not unless they are very thrifty and don't need much of anything. Because minimum wage is below the poverty level. The poverty level for a family of 4, I think now is about $1,500 per month. And I can't live on $1,500 a month. My house payment's $600, so that would only leave me $900 a month for food, clothing, electricity, gas,
Everything else.
all those other things. So, and it's hard to find a place to live around here that's going to be less than $600 a month that somebody really wants to live in.
Well, we need to take our first break here, but we have lots more to come, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
For 50 years, Georgia Highlands College has been a community that takes charge. At GHC, we have a mission to provide access to an outstanding education, meeting the career needs of the region, and helping our communities thrive. Every student we graduate becomes a celebration we never forget. We are more than Chargers. We are Chargers taking charge for 50 years and beyond.
Welcome back to Community Watch, and we're having a conversation with Lydia and Michelle, the Department of Labor, who are in charge of the One Stop program. We have the coordinator and the specialist both with us today, so that's excellent. And when we left off before the break, let me make sure I understand this correctly. If I needed a job but didn't really know what I wanted to do, what kind of job I wanted, you could guide me to the right job. Is that right?
Yes, we would talk to you about what you like to do, what you're good at. And we have a series of tests online that you can take to help you figure out what you're good at and how that will fit with a career or a job. For instance, if you're very good with the public and you're very calm and cool all the time, you might be a good funeral director. Or you might be good in customer service. If you like to work with your hands and you're good at fixing things, you might want to be a TV repairman. We can help you figure that out, and we can also help you see how that job's going to do in the market in the coming years, because you may love to do basket weaving, but if there's not a market for basket weavers, it's not going to help you much to go through the process to become a basket weaver.
And so I want to say real quick, so what I usually do, I just, in general conversation, what have you done in the past? What have you enjoyed doing? And it's just after the conversation is going, a person pretty much can tell you what they want to do, what their goals. So the goal is to match each client with their goal. And if their goal is to be a truck driver, that's what I do. I'll go ahead and send a referral that way. So, it's all about active listening, finding out what is your goal, and trying to help set out a plan and a path for that goal.
And help them decide next steps.
So I'm assuming you say you have a test or a career assessment. Now with COVID-19, how are y'all doing that? Because I don't think people can come in. So how can people access those services now with COVID-19?
They're all available online. We have a website with the Department of Labor. It's called Employ Georgia, and they can do a resume, they can job search, they can do all of those services where they can pick a job and find out what the market's like for that, and they can also help choose a job through all of those. And then there's some other things online that they can do, and they can also go to online at any of the technical colleges in the state of Georgia and access any of their services online for free. And there's also a website called Career Depot, and they can access services there. And the Regional Commission has a website, and they also have access to all of the information about the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act.
So, are there, and this is a very critical question for me now, so be sensitive. Are there age restrictions?
No.
Well, now for
Some of the
services do
Yeah.
have age targets, but anybody of any age can access services. For instance, we have a youth program, and it is for people who are up to age 24. And it provides services that youth might most likely need. And it is more focused on getting them into a foundational education, what they need to start upgrading. And then we also have a program for older Americans who are over 55. And that's called the Senior Community Employment Services Program. And it is for people who are 55 and older and low income. Maybe they retired and found out they're living longer than they thought they were going to and weren't prepared, and they need to go back to work, or they got bored, or whatever their reason is, they can access these services and get placed into a job in the community where they will earn a minimum wage part-time while they look for a full-time job. And that has worked out well for several people that I know who went to work and wound up in a management position somewhere. And then other than that, there aren't really any age restrictions.
But you consider a 55-year-old to be a senior.
That's not me, darling. that's our federal government for
Okay.
these programs.
You can join the AARP at that age.
You can join AARP at 50.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah,
Hey,
I
I'll
plan
take
to
that.
join. I
10
plan
cents
to
off my
join
coffee.
soon. Now, Lindy, Michelle. So basically, a person looking for a job should contact you simply because they don't know what they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they may qualify for because they haven't been through the process. So even if they have job prospects, they still should contact you just to find out what they're eligible for and what services you can provide them.
Especially if they're in a area where they're unsure of their future, their career. And also, it's not just the one stop. See, the one stop is we're here, but also our community partners. Our partners are the ones that are going to strike up those communications, those conversations, and say, okay, well, I can assist you by sending you to another location or to another partner. So we're all the goal is to interconnect, and everyone is working under one umbrella to say, hey, I might need the unemployment office, or I might need the one stop, but I also can get assistance at Northwest Georgia Housing Authority, Georgia Highlands, Talatuna. We want to have the same communication with our clients to be able to get everyone to assist and make this easy for our clients so they can look for a job, they can get assistance with transportation to school, they can get childcare assistance, they can also, we can link them to for food stamps, Medicaid, and so we're it's not just employment, we're one stop. So we want you to come here, your office, any office, and say, hey, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm dealing with, this is my goal, and we try to link them with all types of community services.
So I know one thing I became aware of, and I don't know the name of the program, I think it's LEAP something, but I know if people are struggling with their electrical bill or heating and cooling, through the one stop, they could possibly get a referral for that service. They could get a referral for that service, but that's something a lot of people may not even know because they may find themselves with the pandemic in a situation they've never been in before.
Exactly.
And so contacting a one-stop partner could could be very beneficial in ways they didn't even think about. They didn't even know.
And also, like a lot of our community partners, for instance, I have connection with the Department of Juvenile Justice. I love to throw them in there. And I say, hey, if you have any youth that's coming out of probation, they're about to be a senior in high school, send them our way. Because that's someone that's, a lot of kids think they can't go to school, they can't go to their education, or they can't afford those things. We're here. They can link to us to help get those interview skills, get that resume cleaned up, and we can go ahead and assist in guiding them that way. So there's just several ways to kind of look at this. We don't want it just to be, just one way. It's several ways to have everyone connect and get our seniors, our youth, our community employed in the workforce.
And what she just said is very important. No two people are going to have the exact same experience through this process, because no two people had the same experience getting here. And another important thing to remember is that we do not determine eligibility for any programs. That's why we have people talk to the experts at the partner's office, is because that partner is the one who can best determine if the person is eligible for their services.
Well, let me ask this, because I'm curious about how someone, whether they're making a minimum wage or even a little higher, but still falling far short of what they need to survive, are y'all able to help them figure out like a financial plan, or to see what they have to make in order to get by? Is that something you go through with them?
If that's what they want, we have partners with the technical college system who were coming to do workshops, and they would do budgeting and financial help as some of the workshops. And we're working on now doing those so that we can provide them online, so that they can access them on our website, because they can't come in to have the workshops.
So where do people find you if they can't come to an office right now?
Well, they can find us on the internet at the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission, at the Career One Stop. They can find us on Facebook under the Career One Stop. They can call us, and they can email us. There's a website behind me. That's where they can find us. They can find a lot of information there and connect to any of our partners pretty much through the internet.
So Facebook and internet, several ways on the internet, it
Yes.
sounds.
So we can give out our email information and our direct lines also.
All right, go ahead. We got a few seconds left.
Okay. My name is Michelle, Michele, .Abdul, ABDUL QAWIY @GBOL.Georgia.ga.gov.
And my email address is Lindia, LINDIA .Moore, MOORE at GTOL.ga.gov. And my phone number is 706-295-6558.
All right, well, we're out of time totally. Thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank everyone out there for being with us this week. We'll see you next time.